This is my 500 days in Minecraft hardcore. This consists of automatic farms, perfect bases, massive animals, and even a giant Mr. Beast at the end. So I hope you all enjoy. The most important things in hardcore Minecraft are automatic farms. So sit back, relax, and watch me spend 100 days building some of the best automatic farms there are. The first farm we will be building is a slime farm. So after grabbing a few shulker boxes of different materials, it was time to get some obsidian to build a portal to the closest swamp biome. For this slime farm, you either need a swamp or a slime chunk, but swamps are preferably better for this. And you're also going to need a big 45 by 45 area, so let's go back, grab a beacon and start clearing out some space. After destroying these last couple of dirt blocks, we finally had all the space dug out, ready for this slime farm. First thing we'll need is a 7x7 hole. This will be for the killing chamber and the collection system. After that was all built, the next part was building the main structure where the slimes will spawn. This is a very simple farm to build and I will leave all the tutorials in the description. After finishing the AFK area, we sat there for about 5 minutes and I just wanted to make sure it all worked properly, and as you can see, just in that short amount of time, we got a very good amount of slime balls.
Oh my god!
Now that the slime farm is complete, it's on to the next one. The next farm that we're going to build requires a lot of bees' nest, because as you can guess, we're building a honey farm. As I set up this honey farm's collection system in the spawn chunks, so it's constantly running, the files did actually corrupt for this, so unfortunately there's no time lapse or any footage of me building it whatsoever. It's a very simple farm and I'll leave the link in the description. Now it's time to collect many more materials. This next farm is a bit controversial in a lot of hardcore series. However, this is my world and I'm going to play it how I would like. And this next farm is obviously a sand duplicator. This next farm started by growing some mushrooms to delete the portal itself. This farm is a very tricky farm to build. It's just very tedious with all the redstone and all the mechanics towards it. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this one. This one's just going to be a time lapse again, because it did take me quite a while for this one. So after finally building everything that needed to be built, we set up the chunk loader and placed the rest of the sand ready to be duplicated, and then we made our way into the end after setting it all up. And honestly, after 10 minutes you can see how much we get. It is an insane farm and it's going to save me so much time in my hardcore world. Don't know why people don't use this more often. Yeah, just confuses me a little bit, but here we go. It's a great little farm to have. For the next farm, yes, I am using Litematica for this next farm because it is very complicated, but ilmango, you're the best. He makes such insane automatic farms, and this one is obviously his bone meal farm. But yeah, as you can see, this is going to be quite a quick one because I did just follow the schematic, so it was very straightforward. But honestly, it is just such an insane bone meal farm. I don't know how he does it. But as we can see, as we land on here, it just creates an insane amount of moss. It's quite straightforward to run. You just put some bone meal in the dispensers and keep it running pretty much. As I go to the bottom just to see how much it is making me and if it's overflowing at all, you can see I just make this quick and easy storage system just for the time being. But after we had finished that, I just wanted to make a quick, another controversial little farm. It is a carpet duplicator. This is to run my automatic smelter, and I don't care what people say because this is just the easiest thing to do. But yeah, so now it's time to get some more materials, and for this next one we need turtle eggs, and if you haven't guessed already, this is going to be a wither skeleton farm. After grabbing these last few materials, it was finally time to head to the Nether and start building the structure for this Wither Skeleton farm. It is quite a straightforward farm, obviously when you're watching the tutorial it is. As you can see, we build a platform with some stone walls, you trap an iron golem, you shove some stuff around its head, you build a Nether portal, and then you come to the end, and obviously you need to break the bedrock. This obviously didn't take me about 8 attempts, but this was obviously, if you've watched my previous videos, this was before I had actually got to the Nether roof. So when we was finally on the Nether roof, we could build the second part of this build, which is where the Wither Skeletons actually drop. And as you can see, this farm works a treat. You get so many skulls from this so quickly, and obviously coal and bones are also great as well. But then we went straight to the end underneath the portal and just started to get a few Nether stars, as we had only had one beacon at this point in time. So yeah, we was able to then go back to base, make 6 more beacons and chuck another one down for haste 2. And after collecting another couple of shulker boxes of materials, it was time to build one of the best automatic farms there are, which as you can see is a raid farm. Yes, it is fully built, and yes, you haven't seen anything because once again, I'm an idiot and forgot to press record. So anyway, this is quite a popular raid farm, so you've probably seen it a million times on YouTube anyways. So you don't really need to see me building it another time, do you? But as you can see, just from a little AFK session, how OP this farm is. You get so much XP, as well as the emeralds and the redstone and everything else that comes with it, and most importantly, the totems. Now that we were finally invincible in Minecraft, now that we had an unlimited supply of totems, it was time to build the next farm, which is going to be slap bang right next to our bone meal farm, and if you could guess, it is going to be a wood farm. This farm honestly is insane as well. I don't know how the people come up with this. I will place all the links in the description on all the tutorials and all these farms. But these farms that I'm building today, I just feel like are very important to a Minecraft hardcore world especially. Because, look, you need wood for your builds. You need slime for your redstone builds. You need totems so you don't die. Because if you're like me, I die 10 times every time I come on. It's painful to watch sometimes, but I highly recommend checking these builds out. Alright, the last farm that we're going to build today, I left to last for a reason, is because of this one stupid orange block right here that you can see me mining. I needed a shit ton of magma blocks, and as you can see, it's just look, it's just a pain in the arse. I don't know why I had to get all of this, but we've done it eventually. As you can see, we have all the shulker boxes full of it, and it was finally time to build a gold farm. There was many gold farms to pick from, but I thought I might as well do the XP one whilst I'm at it. In the future I will be building another one mainly for gold, because this one isn't the greatest for gold, but obviously when you're AFKing for XP, it's giving you gold at the same time. And finally, after finishing all of the glass above to prevent the ghast from spawning, we can stand in amongst our gold farm and collect all the glorious XP that we need. I really do hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please make sure to like and subscribe and comment what else you would like me to see. This is an older video. I just have revamped it a little bit and wanted to get it out there. So stay tuned for more videos and comment what you would like me to see next. This storage system holds 4,534,272 stackable items, and I'm going to show you how I made it. First things first is the location. In a previous video, I built this enchantment room underneath my base, so I thought this would be perfect for my storage system too. As this project holds a ton of items, that means I need a lot of space for all the redstone and chests that go into it, and I mean a lot of space. As I got a bit deeper into the clearing out, the river above started to cave in, so I headed over to a temple and grabbed as much sponge as I could. After clearing all the water out that was in the way, I got a rough idea of what height and width I needed for the whole build, and as much as I would love you guys to suffer with me clearing this out, I'm feeling nice today, so with a bit of editing magic, 3 hours turns into 3 seconds. Now that we have all of the space we need for the build, it's time to get our schematic up and see what materials we are going to need. Ignoring the dirt at the top, that shouldn't be on this list, but as you can see, we mainly need a lot of hoppers, which means a lot of chests. However, I decided to start on the path that goes down the middle, as it was only out of blackstone slabs, and with this I can really see how big the build is going to be, and it definitely didn't make me sad at all. If you haven't already watched it, in my last episode I spent 100 days building automatic farms, and one of these farms was a really good wood farm, which between recording I used for quite some time to start on these chests and hoppers, so it didn't hurt me too much doing them all at once. One of the other blocks that I needed for the decorations was sea lanterns, so I thought I may as well build a guardian farm for that. And I'm not going to bore you with the whole build, as my last video was purely automatic farms, but I must say this farm is insane. The resource rates and the XP rates are so good, I highly recommend, and I will leave the link in the description. But as we fly down to the killing chamber, you can see how many are already in there, and that's within 30 seconds, and the amount of loot you get is insane. The next thing that I actually wanted to do was double check the schematic is all good and that it fits nicely in the hole that I've made, otherwise I'll have to dig some more. So after a bit of mucking around, I felt like it was in the perfect position, and as I run down the tunnel you can see what the layout is going to be like, and you can see all the different types of blocks in the frames or already placed. After I was happy with how it looked, I grabbed a handful of chests and got to work placing. I'm going to speed run all of this, mainly because I just want to show that I do actually do all of these things legit, as I know I can do some quite big jump cuts in some of these clips, so I don't want anyone getting the wrong impressions. But this part was very simple and easy thanks for the schematic. It was just a bit boring. Now that we had the main chests and hoppers in, it was time for the repeaters, comparators and redstone, and the main component of all of these is redstone. So we got on our infinite trading system and got to work. With a good amount of redstone, we headed to the Nether to do a quartz run, and I'm only going to show you this once, but I had to do many trips for both the redstone and the quartz. But now that we finally had all the materials for the next phase, it was time to get building. We started off by placing the 2 rows of stone all the way round. Then it was time for the redstone torches on the inside block. Then the repeaters all the way down the middle. Then on top was the comparators. And finally the rest of the redstone. And that was the auto sorter finished. Then all I needed to do was run the last few rows of hoppers around and the main part of the build was completed. Also, that's what I thought. As I went back through the build, I noticed that I built this one side wrong. As you can see, the hopper line was directly below the redstone torches, which wouldn't allow the blocks to pass through, so unfortunately I had to spend another hour ripping it down and rebuilding it all.
So as we go through this, obviously it was time to start setting out for what we was going to do. So I'm just testing out things here of how I'm going to do it, which I will explain to you at the end of the video of how it actually does work with the filter things and the main blocks. But yeah, as you can see, we're just going through the blocks now. We've obviously got wood, we got stone, we got so many blocks in this game, and I was using bamboo for my filter items, which I just thought was rather easy to get. But yeah, I'm not going to bore you with every single block in the game because this took me the most amount of time. This took me a stupid amount of time to get every single block. And obviously a stack of blocks was 41 blocks was easier for me to filter and put into the system, but obviously some blocks like diamond blocks, netherite, blah blah blah, that was hard to get a lot of. But as I was doing this, I got bored, so I decided to set up beacons in each corner of this system, just so I have all the effects at all times. But as we get back onto this, as you can see, look, with big stackable items, I have 1 bamboo, and then with less items, I will use 44 bamboo altogether. So yeah, as we're building here, this is the shulker box unloader that I'm building, which obviously you don't want to have to manually place down your shulker box and take everything out. So this is what I'm building here, which I will show you how it works towards the end of the video.
And finally, after a stupid amount of time collecting and filtering near enough every single item in the game, the system was finally done. And I am so relieved that it is finally finished. The only thing left to do now is to test it. In this system, the last item on the run is bone meal. So when I place bone meal into this chest, if it makes it all the way around, then that is a success. And if not, I will break my PC. For some reason, the water stream wasn't working, so I had to go up and extend it by 1 block so it had a better flow. Then after that, I forgot to put the glass back on top, so they started to spit out. Then after waiting for a good bit of time, nothing had come through, and I was getting very worried. Then I noticed I missed a hopper on the other side. And finally, with sorting all these issues out, we checked the chest, and it had actually worked. Considering I built this all myself in Creative World, I honestly was not expecting that. Even though it did take me around 35 hours to complete, it was a very simple and easy build to do. Now what we can do is put a shulker box in this chest and check out the unloader, which seems to be working pretty well. And then at this point, it had hit me that I had so many chests dotted around my world with so many resources, and it's going to take forever to sort it all out. But as you can see, as I fly up outside, yes, I know I have a lot of terraforming to do, and no, I am not doing it today. I'm done today. But as we fly down into the build, you can also see that all along this build there is a lot of blocks missing on the decorations and in the item frames, and that's because, as you can see here, it's going to take me such a long time going through each individual one, but I will do it, just not at the moment. But honestly, I'm so proud of how this has turned out, and it is going to be a huge help for all the big future projects I have in mind. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe, as it helps me out massively, and also comment what projects you want me to see next. So please help make that happen, I would really appreciate it. And yeah, see you in the next one. I've been playing this world for a fair few days now, and this is still only my base. I've got the cool enchantment room. I've got the insane storage system. I've got a fair few automatic farms. But the rest of my world is absolutely disgusting.
Oh, hell no!
So today we're going to turn this stupid little house into the most insane, safest and securest base we can make. Enjoy. Alright, first things first, we need a spot for this base. As all of my automatic farms are over there, and my massive storage system is just under this pile of dirt, it needs to be quite close. I'm thinking in this very large area around here. Let me just clear this out of the way quickly. Right, now that the space is clear, this is what I have in mind. Okay, when I think of a secure and safe base, I have 3 things in mind. 1, the main base. It needs to be big and strong. Number 2 is the surroundings. It needs to have lava. It needs to be far away from land so no one can access easy. And number 3 is a secure entranceway. 1 way in, 1 way out. Happy days. This is what I have in mind. I am thinking this will be the main base. It will be somewhat of a castle. Oh god, they're the 4 pillars of a castle. Yep, you understand. After the castle, this is where we'll have a layer of greenery surrounding it, aka farms such as wheat farms, carrot farms, etc, etc. And then past that, that is where our defense start. Pretend that's orange. I mean, it is kind of, but pretend it's proper orange. This is then going to be a lava moat. No water moat, a lava moat. And then we'll have a nice, safe bridge coming into it. Nice and fancy. As you can tell, I didn't take GCSE art. But this is what I have in mind. So let's get straight into it. Right, first things first. We need to sort this land out a little bit. Achoo! That's much better. Definitely didn't take me 4 fucking hours. Alright, now that we have the flat land, I think it's time to finally get the schematic in place and start gathering some of the materials that we're going to need. The base that we're going to be building isn't the biggest of builds that we're ever going to do. The majority of the base is going to be underground, which is going to be for a future video, so we don't have to get too many materials. The main one is polished blackstone bricks. There's just a few other materials that we're going to have to get. So let's get started. After spending a little bit of time collecting 4 shulker boxes worth of materials, it was finally time to start with the build. Unfortunately, my replay mod corrupted during this video, so there will be no time lapse for the build. Here's just a couple of random clips of me building it up. Oh no. I'm fucking stuck. Alright, I think that is it. Wow. Alright, and this is the final piece. You can see from the back as well. It's nice, it's got this little balcony area. It's got the 2 pillars that I wanted at the front. I know I said 4 at the start, but 2's more than enough. I like the dark theme with the white, with the quartz in the side. This is very nethery. It's more of a nether base, but I think it works well here. This is just the interior. It's very bland at the moment. It's got the stairs. It's got the upstairs. This is it for now because I'm going to decorate it how and when I move forward with this base. The plans for this base, I do want to go down and that's where the main area be. But yeah, this is just the start. So now let's crack on with the rest of it. Okay, so we've spent a bit of time just prepping the area for the next part of this base. So basically, we've got the fields that are going to go around, which we're going to have a mixture of wheat, carrots, etc. And then this little channel that I've dug out here is going to be the lava moat. I may even make this a bit wider. I'm just going to see how this goes. And obviously this is going to take a hell of a lot of lava. So see how much I can be bothered to do. But yeah, I think it's looking alright at the moment. I thought instead of going for a circle, we'll go for more of a square with the curved edges. I think it looks quite nice. Obviously we've got a lot of decorations to do around the actual main base itself. But yeah, let's start growing some crops. First things first, I checked my massive storage system, which you can check out in a previous video, for any seeds that I had. And then I come to this little wheat farm that I created in my first ever episode. And then I started placing the seeds. It's surprising how many seeds and how long this actually took. So I hope you guys appreciate it, and make sure to click that subscribe button whilst you can now. It will help me out a lot. After about 2 full inventories of seeds, as I was flying up here, I realised I'd only done a quarter. So I thought, let's go on to the next part, which is the lava. So I grabbed my shulker boxes, made my way to the iron farm to make a bunch of buckets, and headed straight to the nether to start filling them up with lava. I then had about 9 shulker boxes plus whatever buckets I could fit in my inventory, and then I just started placing the lava like this. Surprisingly, the lava part didn't take as long as I thought. Each run was doing just over a quarter of the lava moat, so it didn't take me long at all. After placing my last 3 buckets of lava, I can fly up and have a look at the beautiful lava moat that I've created. Surprisingly, it really didn't take long at all. I thought this was going to take me hours and hours, but it didn't, so happy days. Now we can start harvesting some of the wheat that has grown and carry on with the wheat farm. Alright, it's finally all fully seeded. That took me so fucking long. I did not expect it to take that long. Alright, we have finally placed all of the wheat. And we've got the lava moat going all the way round. It's looking very cool now. The only thing we need to do now is the bridge. This needs to get us from our main base over the lava as safe as possible. So yeah, let's start getting some materials for this. I wanted to go for a very basic path and bridge, so I got some gravel, some stone, some cobblestone, and some andesite. I then started placing the blocks in just a random order, just to give it that little effect. And to be honest, I think it turned out very well. It's a very basic path. I didn't want anything too over the top. We then moved on to the bridge, which I'm going to keep blurred until the end of the video, as it is insane, and I thought, you know, a little surprise at the end. All we had to do after this bridge was just a little tidying up around the main structure, and then it was ready for the big reveal. After letting all of the crops grow and a little bit of decorating, we finally had the finished product. hope you guys enjoyed that video. As you can tell, I was being sarcastic with the bridge. It's a very shit bridge. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please make sure to like and subscribe and comment down below what else you would love to see in this hardcore series. Peace. I built the most insane animal pen in Minecraft Hardcore. One day I was flying around my base when I realised how embarrassing my starter animal farms were. So I decided to go big. And I mean big. The project I had in mind consisted of a lot of materials, and one of them materials was wool. The first thing I did was check to see how much wool I had, which was only 64, so it was time to shear some sheep. My current sheep farm was not cutting how much wool I needed, so it was time for a quick upgrade. That's much better. Now that that is running in the background, it was time for phase 1. Phase 1 consists of a large amount of stripped oak wood, birch wood and spruce wood. Don't ask why I chose these blocks, so let's get cracking. After collecting a healthy amount to get me started, I was able to build my first fence post, which actually turned out very good. So with the help of Light Matica, I smashed another couple of fences out before it was time to stock up on more wood. This process happened a lot. After a little back and forth of collecting and building and collecting and building, I was finally done with phase 1 of the build, the fences. And I am truly surprised how good this turned out, considering I designed it myself. Then it was time for phase 2, decorating the fences. On a typical animal pen, most people will place lanterns in the corners for the light, and a carpet to be able to jump in and out, like so. So I thought that would look perfect on this build. After a little playing around in creative, I finally had the finished products. Now let's get some materials. Luckily they weren't too expensive and I had majority of the materials already, so we could get straight into the building. I might have to change my name to Shovel241 after this project. Now it's time for the carpet. And now that that's all done, I'm really happy with how this has all turned out. A lot better than I expected. The next phase is the animals. We are going to be making a chicken, a pig, a sheep and a cow, all the standard farm animals. The only problem is, this involves a lot of wool, which this wool farm is not quite producing me. So let me make a fresh set of shears and start stripping these poor sheep down. After a stupid amount of time shearing these sheep, we finally had enough to start some of these animals. I thought I'd start from smallest to biggest, so let's get the chicken out of the way. In proportion to the rest of the farm, this chicken should be smaller, but it looks stupid, so this is a daddy chicken. And daddy chicken turned out very good. And now it's time to build the pig. Now that that's 2 out of the 4 animals done, it was time to go bigger. And as I had more brown wool and white wool, I decided to do the cow first, and this was definitely the biggest one out of the lot. I think that this one is definitely my favourite one. I decided to have it kind of looking over the fence as if someone is holding some wheat on the other side. And now to finish all 4 of the animals, the sheep. And just like that, all of the 4 animals are complete. However, I felt there was still so much space left in this pen, so I needed to fill it. As the chicken and the pig were significantly smaller than the other 2, I decided to build 1 more of each just to fill some of the gaps. which I think's worked very well. Now that we have an animal pen full of animals, it still felt very bare for my liking. It needed some life to it. This is where I went back into my creative world to work up some grass and a hay bale just to bring the pen all together. And honestly, I don't know what has happened to me lately, but these builds are some of the best builds I've ever done in my life. Now that we had the schematic for these decorations, it was time to hop back into the hardcore world and get building. Luckily I had majority of the materials for this build. The only thing I needed was the terracotta, which luckily I have already found a Badlands for that. So after collecting everything, it was time to get the hay bale built. As we fly back here, we can take a look at how amazing this is all looking. I was thinking of building another hay bale next to it, but I thought that might have been a bit too much, so I just stuck with the one. Alright, just a quick one. Whilst I was editing this video, I was trying to get cinematic views from the replay mod, and as you can see, everything absolutely just disappeared and deleted, so I'm not sure what happened there. So from now until the end of this video, there won't be any more cinematic videos. Next thing was adding in some grass around the pen. It was quite a simple design and very small materials, so it didn't take long at all to dot these around. And wow, just like that, the pen is complete. And honestly, I absolutely love it. It has turned out much better than I imagined. If there is anything else that you would have added to this, make sure to comment below. But wait, we are not done here. I can't just leave these animals empty, I still need farms inside of them. So that's exactly what we are going to do. The cow farm that we're going for is very basic, and we're just going to have two of the entity cramming farms inside of it. The pig farm is just going to be a free-for-all for now, and the chicken farm is going to be a standard egg farm. However, wool is very useful in this game, as we have realised after building this massive project. So we're going to build an automatic sheep farm like I built at the start, but for the 16 different colour sheep that we have in the game. And finally, after destroying these staircases and blocking in these farms forever, we are finally done. I really do hope you guys enjoyed this video. If there's anything you feel I should add, let me know in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe, as that helps me out massively. And I'll see you in the next one. Mr. Beast, YouTube's greatest ever creator, known for his insane videos like the Squid Games and also torturing himself in ice, personally sent me this message. Any idea what I should build next?
Wow, my favourite YouTuber, a moist chicken, asking some small YouTuber like myself what to build. I am honoured. I love you.
Enough with the brown nosing. I need something big that will help me get to 1,000 subscribers. Maybe one day you might be there too. If you could send me a vid please of what to build, that would help.
Okay, anything for my hero. I truly hope one day we can collab. Please, everyone sub to Moist Chicken. I think, as I'm your #1 fan, you should build a massive statue of me right outside of your house, so you can wake up and see me every day as I want to see you every day. Please, please love me.
Alright, that's enough of whatever that was. Let's get a picture to work with and get started. I think this one with the Beast Burger writing and the burger will look the best, so let's get it into Photoshop and clear any unnecessary bits out. Now that we have this, let's head over to the website and choose the height. Which I've gone for 256 blocks high, and the use of survival blocks only. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is just have a quick look around this picture just to make sure there's no really difficult blocks to use, such as like diamond blocks, netherite blocks. So I think now, because the main picture is black wall, what we're going to do is switch the wall to black concrete, as that'll be a lot easier to get for me. Now that we've saved it as a schematic, I loaded it up onto Creative World just to make sure it's all looking good and to check the materials. As you can see the size of it, this is going to take a while. As you can see from the top material, 10,000 black concrete. Brilliant. And there's so many other random materials to collect, so no time like the present. The first thing I wanted to get out of the way is the black concrete. Luckily I have this tuber, so it was actually really easy to collect all of this. And after not much time at all, I collected up the 5 shulker boxes that I needed. Then it was time for some random bits. Polished diorite, polished andesite, andesite, stone, granite, red, pink, green, purple, acacia, dark oak, jungle, gravel, and sandstone. Now we needed a lot of terracotta, so we headed over to the Badlands biome and started mining away. We needed some brown terracotta, and some yellow terracotta, some light grey and white, and as we need loads of other colours that can't be mined, we need normal terracotta so it can be dyed, and we need quite a bit of this, so let's set up a beacon and get to work. With the 3 shulkers filled, we can head over to the desert and get some cactus for the green dye, and also set up a little cactus farm back at home. Now we need some more spruce logs, acacia logs, ten stacks of iron blocks, and another main block we needed was birchwood, so we're going to use our auto wood farm for this. That should do it. Then we need some nether bricks, and we're definitely going to need a lot more than this. We also need a few different colour walls as well. And one I was saving till the end, blocks of coal. And finally, after collecting the last couple of stacks of the coal blocks and a few other random blocks we needed, we finally had everything to start the build. Or so I thought. I completely forgot I had to convert all the concrete powder to concrete, so I set up this little concrete converter for the time being and got to AFKing. Luckily, this only took about an hour, which wasn't too bad. Now, the plan is to be able to see this giant masterpiece from the bridge of my main base. So I made my way into the distance and started moving all of my materials there. And this is what it will look like. I'm not quite sure if it is big enough though. But let's get started. We started with the bottom bit, which wasn't too bad at all. Then it was time for the start of his t-shirt, which was by far the easiest part as it was only 3 or 4 blocks, so I smashed this part out. And as you can see from a distance, it's starting to come together quite nicely. But then I decided to build some scaffolding up, as flying up and down every 2 minutes was destroying my rocket chest. And like I said, this part was very easy. I was just running back and forth, placing the same 4 blocks, rarely having to stock up on materials. This bit was great, and I made so much progress very quickly, as you can see. Now that I'm at the part just under the writing on the t-shirt, I thought it would be the best time to quickly get one of the arms out of the way, as it was quite simple. And then it was on to the worst bit, and honestly, this bit nearly killed me off. You can see just from this short clip, the amount of times I had to fly up and down because I needed 1 block, or I couldn't fit any more blocks into my inventory, and honestly, I just gave up at this point. It was stressing me out. The progress did slow down very, very quickly at this point, and this part of the writing actually took me about an hour to do, which, considering the rest of this had only taken me about an hour and a half, which was absolutely stupid. This is when my brain started working again, and I decided to build a platform near the top so I didn't have to fly down as far to collect the materials. This made things so much easier. I don't know why I didn't think of it before. Then I carried on with the text again, and after another hour or so, I finally had it all done, and this did make me very happy. Now that the writing was out of the way, I could then focus on getting more of the easier bits done, like the left arm. So I grabbed some different materials and got to work. However, at this point, I was ready to give up, but I knew I was so close, so I powered through. After this was done, we then moved on to the head, which was also another tricky one due to the amount of random blocks. But after a little bit of time, we finally got it done. And finally, to finish this masterpiece, it was time for the burger. And as we place these last couple of blocks, it's time for the big reveal. And after many hours of the same repetitive thing over and over again, it was finished. And I gotta admit, it was definitely worth it. So if you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like and subscribe, and comment who you would like me to build next. And I'll see you in the next one.